Hey everybody, it's Jeremy Bradley here, and it's time for the BuffRadio.com entertainment wrap-up presented by Buff Boy Brewing Company.
JB's Entertainment Wrap-Up.
Brought to you by BuffBoyBrewing.com. For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you'll surely feel naughty when you swallow their coffee. Shop Buff Boy Brewing's premium collections of coffee and tea at BuffBoyBrewing.com. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough buff. Here's what's making news this August 5th. There were some disturbing moments for Perez Hilton. Remember him? He's that blogger who got famous drawing penises on celebs' faces and writing insulting comments about them. Anyhow, apparently he's still around and doing live streams. And on Tuesday night, viewers were concerned that Hilton, whose name is actually Mario Armando Lavandera Jr., was harming himself. It looks like he was covered in blood, really, cutting himself, it looked like. The video was taken down and Hilton's TikTok account was suspended. Police in Miami confirmed they got, quote, multiple calls of an individual live streaming acts of self-harm on social media, end quote. We did see the video last night. It looked like he was naked and then just full body covered in blood. Hard to tell, though, if it was real or what was going on, but there was definitely something off, and officers were dispatched to the scene, and they met up with his family who was outside. They said that the 48-year-old was alone in his home. And police said, quote, the individual has been safely recovered and transported by Miami-Dade Fire Rescue to a local hospital where he is receiving medical attention. Now, just a few weeks ago, Mario said on TikTok that he was overwhelmed by his recent move to Miami, saying that he'd been in, quote, a bit of a spiral, end quote, and that he went to church, the gym, and started reading the Bible. The last-minute concert cancellations continue. This time it's Barry Manilow. It was barely 40 minutes before he was set to hit the stage in Lexington, Kentucky. The show was scheduled for 7, and his account tweeted at 6:19, quote, due to unforeseen circumstances, tonight's show in Lexington has been rescheduled, end quote. There was no reason given, and what's odd is that this August 4th show was actually a reschedule from March, when that concert was canceled as 83-year-old Manilow recovered from lung cancer surgery. Before the show's start time, there were still a ton of tickets available, which, you know, even in the cheap seats for $39, has people wondering if this is one of those blue dot fever situations, right, where sales are just so bad that they pull the plug and give some excuse as to why the concert never happened. And I should note that Manilow is expected to perform in Cincinnati tonight, and out of curiosity, we checked tickets to tonight's show, still hundreds of seats available. Not as many as the Kentucky one, but still hundreds of seats available. Now let's get to a bunch of updates from other stories we've been talking about lately. We'll get through them as quickly as we can in our final moments. Last week we talked about Sean Diddy Combs getting into a prison fight and sent to solitary confinement. Days later, we learned that his release date was moved up. Now, get ready for this, the date has been moved back. Let's recap. Initially, the release was updated to January 24th, 2028, which is months earlier than his initial sentence. Now it's being bumped back to February 20th of that year. The Federal Bureau of Prisons would not comment if the change is because of the reported fight, and Diddy's legal team has not commented on the new release date. And earlier this week, we talked about Rosie O'Donnell blabbing that she's returning to The View for its 30th season. Well, she made a comment that they're welcoming all the previous hosts back, and it prompted some of the bitter previously fired cast to say, wait a second, I wasn't invited. O'Donnell's comments are being walked back by her rep, saying there was a mention of inviting some of the hosts back to The View as a guest during season 30. There has not been a formal ask from the show at this time. The View's executive producer Brian Tedda had to jump into the mix, tweeting, we love seeing all the excitement about The View's 30th. Lots of plans are in the works, but no invites have gone out. That's Check of Your Celeb headlines for this Wednesday, August 5th. I'm back tomorrow right here on the BuffRadio.com entertainment wrap-up presented by Buff Boy Brewing Company. Till next time, I'm Jeremy Bradley.
For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow